host of the Gridiron.
All right, baby. Welcome to the Gridiron. If you give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If you're not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? It's totally free of charge. But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. If you want to help support my channel out, description box below, very top link takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So once again, if you want to help support my channel, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then finally, just underneath that, there's another link. Takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. We have over 9,600 members in the group. It is doing simply marvelous, might I add. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing, and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. It's called the New York Giants of Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right. Well, hey, another day. The Giants are just moving along. I know one of the things that Mr. Maris said, is he doesn't always want to, how do you put it, win in free agency or win or be the one who spends the most money in free agency or something along those lines. And the Giants, I don't think, haven't dished out maybe the most, but, they've been pretty active. Every day they're either re-signing, bringing back some guys, which is great because, you'll bring it back. A lot of the guys are bringing back, except for, Darius, right? Low cost. And you got to have those guys, those low cost guys. We're going to go over a couple more of the guys that they brought back. So they've re-signed quite a few. Some exclusive rights, free agent, whatever, But they've brought back quite a few of them. So that's good, keeping the group together. So, pretty much you look at like the Giants, the 2 big kahunas the Giants are going to lose. And the Giants are really going to lose. Well, all right. If you throw Van Roten in there. Now, you still don't know. I didn't go scouring the internet or nothing. I don't know if he's signed with somebody or not or whatever. The Giants are going to bring him back. As far as I know, the articles I'm reading, the Giants are still trying to maybe get in on the Fries signed with the Vikings. So the Giants will had something in for him. But he went with the Vikings. So the Giants are possibly still on the guard market. So we'll have to wait and see. They certainly can't be in the offensive tackle department anymore after these past couple of days. We'll go over that in just a little bit. But they're still in, the guard market. So, you look at like, they don't have any quarterbacks except for Tommy Chicken Cutler Parmesan from last year, but the big free agents that they had, Van Roten, as I said, still might wind up bringing him back. Who knows? If he winds up being the best option, he's still available. If he wants to play, possibly. Who knows? But Pinnock, right? Oh my God! Speaking of Pinnock, right? But also Aziz. But Aziz wasn't a starter. Aziz would be a starter, when Kayvon got injured, right? But other than that, Aziz, Aziz would have been a starter if we didn't bring in Bernsey, right? And Aziz could possibly be a starter maybe wherever he goes. And I wish the guy nothing but the best. Guy gets injured too much now. Is he cursed by the Giants? The end of the injuries? Who knows? But wherever he goes, I'm sure he'll get handsomely paid. Reasonably well paid. He's not getting no, $40 million Garrett money or not, right? $40 million a year or nothing like that. But he'll certainly make more than what he was on his rookie deal with the Giants, being a second round pick. But I mean, for the most part, the Giants really, not losing, really anybody. I mean, they did bring Darius back, so a lot of the core guys are here. So now what we're trying to do is add, right, to the group. Now, obviously, as I just showed you, we lost a safety. So therefore, we need a safety. Well, right? Pinnock went with the 49ers. Good for him. Possibly, once again, I don't want to sit here and say, I'll tell you what, man. I watched every angle of every snap that Pinnock took last year with the Giants, and I spent 300 years of my life watching every snap he took when Wink was here, and I diagrammed all the plays, and I ain't gonna be it. I'm not saying that because I didn't do that. That ain't me. Ain't never gonna be me, right? But possibly when Wink was here, right? Maybe Pinnock was with the scheme and all was more involved. Might have been a little more valuable. Now, quite possibly. Hey, what's up, buddy? With Bowen, it might be a little bit of a different story. It just goes to show you, one of the things, talking about the problem about bringing in new people. You bring somebody in new, they got a new scheme, new system, whatever, some guys might be elevated by that. Other guys, it's like, they lose their luster, shall we say. So Pinnock might have been one of those players, right? But with Holland, obviously, he was injured, but 2 years ago, let me see here. I have 312,000 tabs open up here. Let me see here. See if I can pop it up here. I'm gonna find it here. I want to Holland. Oh, here we go. He graded out. The dude graded out a freaking 90 2 years ago for Miami. 707 snaps in 2023. He graded out at a 90. His coverage grade was at 89.9. Now, he obviously, what I took, injuries, he broke his, he was injured, so, right. But he took a little bit of a step back last year, right? You see, in 2022, he must have played darn near almost every snap, 1,197, right? But in his rookie season, 893 snaps, graded out as a rookie, 84.7. Holy cow. But, he graded out at a 90 2 years ago. Right, let me see here. 1, 2, I played, I guess, almost most of the snaps. See, week 6 and 7 and 9, he's not there. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So one of them must have had to be their bye, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 6, 7, and 9. So one of those weeks was a bye. So it was a couple games he missed, right? So he would have had well over 900 snaps last season. Okay. But injuries, curtail this season a little bit. But just tell you what, a major upgrade. Let's see. Once again, let me share my screen. We get Pinnock up here. And I'll show you what Pinnock did last year. All right, share screen. Okay, so Pinnock last season, right, graded out of 54. Okay, now you'll notice once again here, okay, now he played a lot of snaps, right? You can't knock the last 2 seasons, you can't knock Pinnock at all. The dude, darn near almost 2,000 snaps between the last 2 seasons. So you tip your cap to the guy right there. Right? But you'll notice here with Wink, grades out of 67.8. Bowen comes in 54.5. His run defense was a big difference there. His coverage grade with Wink was a 64. Last year was a 45. Okay, his run defense 59 the last season under Bowen. 67.9. So, I mean, he graded out, what was it, 13 points higher with Wink, right? Once again, that's just PFF, right? That's all I'm going by, okay? But you'll notice last year graded out of 54. Yeah. But even still, I mean, you look at these numbers, a 70, a 61, but a 67 point, pretty good. But, just quite possibly under the Bowen system, it's just, unfortunately, that's the way it is. Some guys are just not quite as valuable, right? But, I mean, so you got to look, we lost, obviously, McKinney for about $17 million, right, for the Packers. We brought him in for about $14 or $15 million. Okay. He's young. McKinney's young too, but he's very young as well too, right? But, he's good, solid safety. Let's hope. Because, with the Dolphins that play on grass, right? This is the land of the injuries here, right? So let's hope he can stay healthy, right? Because if he can stay healthy, him and Adebo, right? I mean, that's two really, right? Now we go into the draft. Now, it would not be a bad idea ever, maybe even in the later rounds or whatever, right, to obviously bring in another person in the secondary, bring in an offensive lineman in the draft, a defensive lineman / edge rusher, whatever you want to do, and somebody in the secondary. So maybe we can add a little more depth in the secondary, right? We're going to go over the Giants draft picks, right? A little later in our program here, because the Giants got a compensatory pick added. So I mean, it would never hurt, obviously, to add a little bit of depth, right, in the secondary. So, but I mean, I did see. I can't remember what everybody's age is because I'm a moron. I can't remember, but you look. I mean, between Dabo, right? Banks, Phillips, Flat, Hawkins, Javarius Owens, Belton, Newbin, right? Holland. That's a young secondary. I'm not saying we're top 5 or nothing like that, but good young secondary. Really, really good young secondary. So, so now the Giants aren't pressed right now. We got to get a safety early on. They're not pressed. Oh, we got to get a number 1 cornerback or we're freaking screwed. No, not have to worry about that, right? The Giants still need 2 quarterbacks, right? We're waiting on Wilson, who's supposed to be here. He's going to Cleveland Thursday. And I think he's showing up in Giants land on Friday, right? And then we're still waiting here for Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, right? But we still need 2 quarterbacks, okay? We need a guard, and we really could use a defensive tackle. Now, the guard, as I said, might get in free agency. Heck, you can get a nice guard. Should be able to get a decent guard in the 3rd round, right? If we take a quarterback in the 1st round, right? We can maybe pick up a defensive lineman / tackle, right? Or whatever in the 2nd round. Pick 34. There should be a good one out there. Might be an edge rusher or defensive tackle or somebody, right? So we'll have to wait and see. We could certainly use another wide receiver, without question. We brought Slayton back. We need some more depth there, without question. Let's see, defensive tackle. Right? But so far we're doing pretty good. The thing is that the Giants need 2 quarterbacks, right? Now, unless they bring in, it's going to be interesting to see. If they bring in, say, Rodgers is going to be on a short deal no matter what. But you can almost see if he were to bring in Russell Wilson, right? Sign him for multiple years, maybe 3 years. Maybe, he can be the answer. The Giants can now pick and choose who they want to draft as far as a quarterback. They pick a quarterback in the 3rd round, take one in the 2nd round. They don't have to take a quarterback in the 1st round, especially if one's not there. But they signed Russell Wilson. I'm just saying, right? So I say 3 years. Just saying, once again, get out after 2, sign him for 3, right? They could take a quarterback this year in the draft. They could take one next year because they had their starting quarterback, right? In Russell Wilson. I mean, that would open things up. That would be nice. There's the pick number 3, right? They can take, I believe his name is Graham from Michigan, right? If they don't need to take a quarterback. If Carter's there, swoop in and take him. If Hunter's there. Now, the thing is with Hunter is that, he's a cornerback / wide receiver, right? So you may not need the cornerback part of it, So you're not so sure about that. But there's other guys that you can wind up taking, right? So we'll have to certainly have to wait and see. But very excited about this pick here with Holland. Just hopefully he can stay healthy. Same thing with the Debo, right? Because he got injured last year. But we got Pinnock leaving Giants for the San Francisco 49ers. Pinnock bolts New York after they signed Jevon Holland. Former New York Giants safety Jason Pinnock is finalizing a 1-year deal with the 49ers. Pinnock started the last 2 seasons for the Giants, playing a total of 1,987 snaps. Wow. Very impressive. 25-year-old took a step back last season and failed to seize the moment opposite rookie Tyler Nubin. Pinnock was as a prototype safety body, 6 foot tall, 205 pounds with long extremities. But the inconsistent location and crucially missed tackles plagued the young player. Pinnock missed 13.4% of his tackles over the 3 seasons in New York, with 27 missed tackles as a starter. Yeah, what I mean? And when you're sometimes maybe the last line of defense, that's not good. Through 3 seasons in New York, Pinnock defensed 10 passes, had 3 interceptions. Remember that one, the only touchdown we scored against Miami? Right? We picked the one off from Tua and ran it back for a touchdown. Right? He had 211 tackles, 12 for loss, 28 pressures, and 6.5 sacks. Now, the thing is that the 33rd team dug up this unsavory statistic about Pinnock. Now, the 33rd team does a very good job. Unfortunately, the 33rd team, they don't pick up whatever I say, like anything positive. It's always negative. Anything negative, that's what they dig up and talk about. It says here that from the 33rd team, Jason Pinnock allowed a passer rating of 148.3 when targeted last season. That is the worst among all defensive backs that saw more than 20 targets in 2024. So, not impressed. Not impressed there at all. All right, but right. Giants did land Dolphin star safety Jevon Holland in another major NFL free agency upgrade. So you got to give Shane some credit there. The Debo and Holland, that's two nice additions to a very young second. I mean, the whole defense is very young, very, very young. So if we get a good defensive tackle, boy, once again, I don't ever want to drink the Kool-Aid. Don't want to drink the Kool-Aid, but we could use somebody in there, right, to help stuff the run, without question. We're bringing in, right, guys, some depth and all that and everything. We're going to talk about another one just in a moment, okay? But we could really use another real solid stud in there. And boy, I'll tell you, if we can get one in the first or second round of the draft, that would be fantastic. There are different ways to build a competitive team, and fortifying what had been a shabby defense is never a bad approach. Now, the thing is just kind of weird. It's like they let McKinney go, right? Because I don't know. You're never gonna know 100%. Well, they didn't like him. He didn't fit their scheme. What was the problem? Why did they let McKinney go for $17 million, and then they bring Holland in for about $14 or $15 million? Right? Holland's 25 years old, but McKinney's young. McKinney's I believe, even younger than that. So, Giants continued along that pathway, striking early on the second day of NFL free agency. They went in with holes to fill and are filling them one by one. They added a starting safety, agreeing to terms Tuesday morning on Jevon Holland, a 25-year-old who will move directly into the lineup. You're damn right he will. This is a huge addition for the Giants, and Holland did not come cheaply. Well, he deserves to get paid. I mean, heck. He will sign a 3-year contract, 45, so $15.1 million. Right? So they didn't want to sign McKinney for 17. I can see that, but they signed Holland for 15.1. So, right? Big money for a player considered to be the top safety available in free agency this year. Good for him, man. Welcome aboard, brother. We could use you. Thank you for signing with the Giants. Thank you. 1 year after General Manager Joe Schoen opted not to pay big bucks to retain Xavier McKinney, he reeled in a top of the market safety spending on a position that he previously did not prioritize. Once again, just don't know what happened, right? McKinney received a 4-year, $67 million deal from the Packers and went on to have a sensational 2024 season, finishing second in the NFL, 8 interceptions, 8. Giants as a team had 5 all season long, and McKinney, who would let go, had 8. Holland, a 2021 second-round pick out of Oregon, right? I mean, it seems like the second-round safeties seems like a sweet spot, right? Landon Collins, right? Xavier McKinney, right? Tyler Nubin, Jevon Holland, second round, right? He spent his first 4 seasons with the Dolphins, starting 57 of 60 games he appeared in. He will line up in the back end of the defense against Tyler Nubin, the 2024 second-round pick, who started 13 games as a rookie before he went down with an ankle injury that required surgery. So we have 2 second-round safeties in the back. Cool. Holland has 5 career interceptions, 6'1", 205 pounds, and is considered to be a willing and able contributor in the run game. He also has 5 forced fumbles, 5 sacks. Holland's 91.3 grade in coverage, according to Pro Football Focus, is the 5th highest in the league among safeties since 2021. Why was Holland available? He did not play his best in 2024. A career low 62 tackles and no interceptions. He did make an impact during his time in Miami. However, in his second season, Holland became the youngest team captain in Dolphins history. Giants believe Newman has a strong leadership trait, and lining him up next to Holland should make for an interesting pairing. Just like that, the Giants have a young, aggressive, athletic, and versatile defensive backfield. Here we go, right? Newly signed cornerback Paulson Adebo is 25. Holland is 25. Deontay Banks, 24. Newman and Drew Phillips are both 23. Now, let's not forget about Flott. This will be Flott's 4th season as well, too, right? Let's not forget about Trey Hawkins. Let's not forget about Javarius Owens. Let's not forget about Dane Belton. All those guys, young, very young secondary. If the Giants with defensive coordinator Shane Bowen in his second year, new secondary coach, defensive passing game coordinator Marquand Manuel, and new assistant cornerbacks coach Jeff Burris can get Banks, the 2023 first-round pick, to pick up his intensity and performance, this club could be vastly improved group. Is this a major pivot as far as assessing positional value by Shane, paying a safety a year after not aiming up for McKinney, 1 year after one of their own draft picks? Well, Shane didn't draft them, but, so it's, one of those things you just don't know. Well, the Giants a year ago did have an offer on the table for McKinney that would have paid him around $15 million per season, almost exactly what he paid Holland. So, right, McKinney took the Giants' offer and shopped it around. He wanted to become the league's highest paid safety, and he was able to get a deal with the Packers for $17 million per season. So, Shane offered him. It's what it is. I mean, sometimes you gotta, it's what it is. As McKinney was considering his options, the Giants were engaged in talks to trade for edge rusher Brian Burns. Once it became clear they could get the deal done, they relocated the money to Burns, who was acquired and then signed to a 5-year, $141 million contract. Holland ended up getting more guaranteed money than McKinney, who received $23 million guaranteed from the Packers. Given that the 2025 salary cap increased by nearly 10%. Holland's contract is a cost savings.